If you're a teenager who wants to make Roblox games but scripting feels confusing, this video is for you. You don't need any experience or advanced knowledge to follow along. Over the next 7 days, I'll help you to understand the basics of scripting so you can build your first simple Roblox game. By the end of this video, you'll understand what this code does, what I'm currently showing you, and how to write it yourself, and I'll give you some practical framework and tips on how to make your first Roblox game. So let us get started. So what are programming languages? So when I'm talking to you currently, I'm using a particular language that you understand and that I understand, such that you understand what I want to teach you and I'm able to communicate with you. Similarly, when you want to communicate with Roblox and make it do stuff in the game, that's what happens in a game. You ask Roblox to do stuff to the player, or do this when the player does that, and you have to tell Roblox to do it. So you use a programming language to do so. So essentially, a programming language is a combination of both English and maths, and you'll understand. I'll show you some examples. For example, you look at this. This is all English. Essentially, this is all English, and some maths is there here and there. You have some maths here and there. It's just a special way in which a computer, or rather Roblox, understands what you want to get done, and then it executes a particular set of code. What is a code? The set of instructions which you pass to Roblox in order to do something. That's your code. Yeah, so this is the language that Roblox understands, and it does stuff. Okay, once we have understood programming languages, what I want you to do is go to server-script service over here, click on this plus icon, click on server script. You can rename it as you wish. You can rename it as you wish. I'm gonna call it teaching. Okay, second, what are variables and their data types? Okay, now we're going to learn about variables. So variables are basically containers used to store certain data or value. To create such containers, we'll use the keyword local. Then we'll give our variable certain name. For example, I want to give my variable the name age is equal to 10. Yeah, I've created a variable called age. Then to give it certain value, you will use the equal to sign and give it certain value, just like in maths. I'm gonna give it, let's say I'm 18 years right now, so I'll give it 18. Enter. Similarly, you can create more variables. Local player is equal to game dot players. Don't worry about this part right now. The main objective is to learn about variables, which is this. Don't worry about this for now. So game.players, you can store anything. Local, let's say local string, you can store a string value. Hello. So what's the string values? Basically any text we want to store in Roblox. You cannot store it without quotations. It'll give you an error. See, it'll give you an error. So therefore you need to store it with quotations, and this is called a string. You can store any text over here. You can type anything inside, blah blah. So, and this is integer, this is string. What are integers? Integers are all negative or positive numbers. You can even give your age as minus 18 years. Roblox wouldn't care. However, since my age is 18, I'm gonna record that change. Now, then other data types include Boolean. For example, local is male, true. Boolean values are basically two values, true or false. They indicate truth or falseness of something. You'll understand its use case more in if and else, which will come up ahead in the series. So is mail true? And finally, you can also store a decimal number over here. So decinum, local decinum, these are all names by the way, is equal to 23.8. There you go. This is a decimal. So what are data types? Data types are the type of values which you can store in a variable, and it's helpful for Roblox to classify your values into the data type so that it understands what to do with it. For example, over here, if you notice, this is an integer, so Roblox will internally think of it as an integer, which is its data type. It will label it as an int data type. So this will be labeled as boolean data type or bool value. This will be labeled as floating data type. This will be labeled as string data type or string value. Now let's learn about operators. So what are operators? Operators are essentially symbols used to perform certain actions. For example, in maths we have the arithmetic operators like plus, then you got minus, then you got plus, you got multiplication, then you got division. Sadly I cannot type the division symbol, so division. So similarly in Roblox also you can perform these arithmetic operations. So let's define two numbers and check these out. Num1 is equal to, by the way, whenever you're creating a name for your variable, you cannot use spaces, and secondly you cannot begin with numbers. To always begin with a digit, and you cannot use random characters. You have to use letters and numbers, but numbers should not be there in the beginning. Okay, local num1 is equal to 12, local num2 is equal to 34. Yep. So now we'll perform certain operations. For example, local add, local sum is equal to, now we can add two numbers in it. So we can add 12, just like in maths you'll use 12 plus 24. Let's say you're adding these two numbers. So just like in board mass, what you used to do is essentially first you'll add these two numbers, 12 plus 24, which is 36, and store it in sum. Let's see if that is what is happening by printing it. So what does print do? It displays the value in sum. So if it displays 36 without us giving it the value 36, you'll understand that it has added this, right? And then what we'll do is we'll define one more variable as difference, and what we'll do is this time we'll subtract these two variables. Then you'll get my minus 12 over here. It's supposed to display minus 12 if I print it, and if I print a variable. Now let me run the game. Before you run the game, go to script tab, click on this output panel. This output panel is essential because all the print statement output comes in this output panel. You'll see. Now run the game. Yep, there you go. Scroll up. Yes. If you go to teaching, as you see, first sum is printed, which is 36. So first sum is printed. Then diff was printed, which is minus 12. Now let's do some more operations. Let's do local multiplication. Mul is equal to 12 into 24. But here's the thing, since Roblox confuses x for x, the actual character x, you should there's a special symbol you use for multiplication, which is the asterisk symbol, which you can type using clicking on the shift key and then clicking on the 8 key. This symbol, this is used for multiplication. Let's print multiplication ka result, the result of multiplication. Then local, let's print the result of the division as well, 24. Over here you cannot type the division symbol, so we use this symbol instead for division. And let's print div. Alright. Now over here, ideally you should get 36 minus 12. What's 24 into 12? If you do the maths, let me just write once in my head. 48. Okay, 240 plus 48 is 288. You should get 288, and this is 2. Now if you stop this and execute it again, I've stopped it using this stop over here, this red button. You want to execute again, you'll click on play. Yep, there you go. Again, scroll up all this mess. Yeah, 288 and 2. Come over here. We first printed 36, so 36. Then we printed minus 12, it did this. Then 288, then 2. Now let us take a combination of stuff like multiplication and division. Let's do this. Within brackets, 24 plus 3 into 24 plus 2. Now if you think about it carefully, what will happen is this: first this is executed and you'll get 27. Then by the rule of BODMAS, what you'll do is you'll multiply 27 with 24, and whatever is the answer of that, you'll add it with 2. So ideally you should get an even number. I'm not going to do the multiplication right now. So let's see what's the result. Let's stop the execution and let's run it again. Oh wait, yeah, I forgot to print it. You need to print it if you want the result to display in the console or the output which I've just opened over here. So we'll print it. Stop this. Run it again. Yep, it's 650. If you scroll up right here, yeah, the answer is 650. Alright, let's stop this. Yep. Now next thing, once we have learned about operators, the next thing we are going to learn about is if-else condition statements. Let me type that out. If-else condition statements. So what are if-else condition statements? Essentially, these statements are used to selectively run a code if a condition is true. These are used for decision making in Roblox. For example, in English, if you want to do some decision making or if you want to instruct someone using decision making, you'll use the if and else. Say I want you to go to the market and buy me some tomatoes if the rate of each tomato is less than 500, else you need not buy. Similarly, in Roblox, let's say I define a cost variable. Local cost is equal to 120 and local cost local budget is equal to 10. Let's say this is the cost of an item in Roblox, and let's say this is a player budget. So we wanna check if a player can buy the object. So if cost is less than budget, if the cost is less than budget, then print yes, they can buy it. Okay, let me explain this code to you step by step. Okay, sorry, my bad. I need to enclose this in round brackets. Yep. So the first step in all this is using the if word. If a particular condition is true, just like in maths, you can pass a condition over here. Using maths, you can pass the condition. If cost is less than budget, you used to use this symbol, crocodile symbol, in maths too. So if cost is less than the budget, in this round brackets, this is the condition, then you do this. And let us run it. Yep, as you see, nothing happens over here because the cost is more than the budget, so nothing happens. So in that case, if we want something to happen, if the condition is not true, if the condition is true, then this is happening. If the condition is not true, this is skipped and nothing happens. If you want something to happen, you need to add an else statement before you enter block of code. Before you end it, you want to add an else statement. So I'm going to use else, enter, and it will automatically end it for you. You need not worry about it. Print. No, you are poor. Yep. Now let's print that. Yep. There you go. As you see, since over here cost is more than budget, what happens is Roblox checks this condition is cost less than the budget. No, it's not. So this if condition is false. So it will not execute this line of code. It will jump to else and it will print this. Let's do one more example for your better understanding. Let's say local age is 18 and let's say local drinking age is 21 in India. So let's use an if condition to determine can someone drink who is 18. So if, as obviously we know that because we are humans, but you want Roblox to know that too, so you need to tell that. You need to tell it a condition to do something. So if age is greater than drinking age, again, if you notice over here, we're using a variable drinking age and we are comparing it to the value stored in age. We are directly using that value. Is greater than this, then yep. So over here using variables, we need not remember the values individually. You can just use the variable and you can directly compare them just like you used to do with normal values. What's the significance of this? Significance of this is even if the value of the variables change, the underlying relation that age has to be greater than drinking age doesn't change. So you need not worry about the values. You can change it whenever in the program, and you can rather focus more on the logic. Or otherwise you can, instead of doing this, if you think that this is too complicated, you can still use 21. But what if tomorrow the drinking age becomes 20? Then you have to again change even this too. So instead of doing that, you can directly change this to drinking age and use it everywhere. Wherever you want to use it again in the code, you can use it. So drinking age, print, yes lol. Else, if you want to continue with the block, you want to remove end and put else. Yes, else, print. And whenever you're printing something, you're printing a string. So string is always enclosed within quotation marks. So no lol. So of course I'll not be able to drink. So let's see that. Let's stop this and let's execute it again. No lol. If you notice, you're poor was for the previous if else. No lol is for this time. No lol. Okay. And let's say you have multiple conditions. If you want to check multiple conditions, local by age is 21. Drinking age is 20, but if you want to legally buy alcohol, you want to be 21. So you want to check for all these conditions. So if you want to check for multiple conditions, what you want to do is, okay, let's add one more thing. Local is rich is equal to false. Now what we'll do is, we will allow the user to buy the drink if the age is let's say more than the drinking age, or If the age is, even if the age is not more than a drinking age, if the guy is rich, he can just bribe his way through. So, or even if the guy is rich, that works for us. So, how to implement it? Implement that in if else. For that, again, it's similar to English language. First, we'll pass the condition that age has to be greater than the drinking age. If that is not met, you can use the or condition just like in English. Either the age has to be greater than the drinking age or the guy has to be rich. If either one of this is true, then the guy can buy alcohol. By the way, I do not endorse this. You should not be drinking. Else. By the way, if you want to put one more condition, for example, this if is false, but you want to put one more condition. If you want to check for one more thing, you can use else if. Else if, just like in English, if the age is greater than drinking age or is rich, then print yes sir. Else if you want to check for one more condition, by age is greater than, or if age is greater than by age, at least he can buy it then print he can buy it. So previously, if you noticed, we were just doing some one-dimensional stuff. If the condition is true, then you do this, else you do nothing. Over here, what we have done is, first of all, we have understood how to use two conditions simultaneously. You can use the or keyword. What happens is, if either of these two conditions is true, then this block is executed. If this entire thing is not true, it moves on to the next block of else if, this time instead of else. So this is a special form of else, wherein you also have a condition to else. It is not simply a continuation of this, like if this is not true, then this will execute. No, if it is not true, and if this is also true, only then it will happen. So it's better than else. And finally, you can, if you want, you can put one else statement, and this will execute regardless. If these two are not executed, at least something would happen so that we know that the code is worked. So we'll just say is simply poor and underaged. Yep. Similarly, like or keyword, we have and keyword. What happens in and keyword is, for example, over here, if I had and instead of or, what would happen is, if both the conditions have to be true, because that's what and does in English. For example, if you want to go to the gym, you have to be rich and you have to be above 18 years old. So both conditions have to be met before you go to the gym. So and allows something to happen only if both conditions are met. So in this if condition block, this statement, print statement, is executed only if both are true. Else you can use the or keyword over here, which will execute only if one of the conditions is true. So if you execute this, if you stop this, I'm expecting him to be simply poor and underaged. There you go. He's simply just poor and underaged. Yeah. He's simply poor and underaged. Okay, now that we have this out of the way, let us move on to the next part and learn about loops. So what are loops? For example, I'm going to teach you one special thing in Roblox. This task.wait. Okay. So task.wait is used to pause the code. It literally pauses your code for a fixed duration of time. And this time is in seconds usually. Yeah, it is in seconds. As you see over, no, as I see over here, it's in seconds. So you can put in the time over here. For example, if you say wait for 1 second and then execute this code, or rather it will be better if you wait for 5 seconds, then you'll realize its effect. So what will happen is this entire code is executed almost instantaneously because it's a computer. It's quite fast. When it reaches over here, it goes line by line, by the way. So when it reaches over here, it goes through all the stuff. When it reaches over here, it's like, oh, I have to wait for 5 seconds. So task.wait 5 seconds. After 5 seconds, it will then execute the remaining code. So I'll write over here, oh, I am 5 seconds late. Now let us see how it runs in the output. Let me just make this bigger for you. Okay, now let us run it. Now wait for 5 seconds, it will come. Yep, there you go. So after 5 seconds it came. It was not over here initially, it came after 5 seconds. If you remove that task.wait, what will happen is it will come instantaneously and it will be up there in the code. Remove this, stop, execute it again. Yeah, oh, I'm 5 seconds late. It came up here instead of waiting for 5 seconds. So now what if I want to print this thing like continuously? After every 1 second I want to print this thing. So what you can do is you can write I want to do it 10 times. task.wait1. So what I'll do is I'll control C this, enter, control V8, copy paste it essentially, control V, 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 control V. Now let's execute it. Now it will run 10 times. Oh, I'm 5 seconds late, oh, I'm 5 seconds late, oh, I'm 5 seconds late, so on. It runs 10 times. But you see, the thing is, what if you want to do it 100 times now? What if forever, you want to do it forever? So it will be quite mundane to just keep on copying and pasting your code again and again. So to save your time, loops come into the picture over here. So let me clear this out for you. And let's do it much quicker and much easily for us. So there are two types of loops over here that you ought to know about. You have for loops and you have while loops. Okay, let's start with for loop then. For, just like in English, for. However, it's a bit different. So stay with me, I'll explain this to you. For I is equal to you. Okay, here's how you write it. First you write for, then you'll write I, or you can use any letter over here or any name. It's just like a variable name, so you can use any name over here, avg. Just be careful that it should not turn blue. For example, you cannot use or over here, otherwise Roblox will get confused. It should just stay colorless. U, for u is equal to 1. This is the starting value from which it starts all the way to say 10. Increment by 1. Do, enter, it ends over here. Print hi. So ideally what will happen is, now I'll explain this to you. For u is equal to 1, 10, 1, do print hi. Okay, so what happens is, what Roblox does is, it creates a new variable called u. It gives it a value 1, and then after that what it does is, it executes, then it goes inside, it executes this code, whatever is there over here, whatever you want to loop essentially, or repeat a fixed number of times. It will print hit once. Sorry, it's not I, it's not hit, it's high, sorry. Yeah, it will print high once, then it will update u by whatever update number you have. So essentially this number is used to initialize stuff. It's the initial number. U starts with 1. Yep. And this number is the final number. Once the final number is reached, the loop stops executing and the counter stops increasing, and this is a number by which the counter increments. For example, you can also print u, so it will tell us what's the current value of the counter. You can directly just print u over here. So since u is a variable, you can print u. So ideally what will happen is you start with 1, it will execute this code once, then what the for loop does is it updates the value of u from 1 to 2. Whatever value is there over here, it updates u's value by adding that value to u. For example, if I use 2 over here instead of 1, it will put 2 and u will become 3. Now once u has a new value of 3, it will check if that new value is less than or equal to 10. Right? And it goes on until it reaches the value of 10. For now I'm going to make it fun, so this will execute 10 times. Let's see. Let's stop and run it again. Yep, there you go. As you see over here, it starts with high 1 because the value of u was 1. U was given the value 1, then it went inside, it executed the first statement print high. Yes, it printed high. Then what it did is it prints u. What's the value of u over here? It's 1. Then what happens is it increments the value by 1 and u becomes 2. Then it compares whether it's less than or equal to 10. This is the comparison value. Once again, the first value is the initial value, second value is the final value, whatever final value you want it to take, and third is the step value, the number by which it increments. Now for example, you can change this. Okay, by the way, this goes all the way high 3, high 4. Once it's 4, then it increments by this value becomes 5. Again checks, okay, it's less than 10. Yeah, it continues 10 times. This executes all the way till 10 times. Once it's 10, what happens is once you use 10, it will check whether it's less than or equal to 10. Yeah, sure. So it will print high u, then it will increment u to 11. Then it will check, wait, is 10 less than or equal to 11? No, sorry, greater than or equal to 11? No, not at all. So it will stop. This is a final value. This is the topmost value. Right? So now this is the final value, whatever you want to take. It starts from here, goes till the final value. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to type 2. What will happen is it will increment by 2. You'll see. Stop and execute it again. Yep, there you go. So over here it starts with 1. U starts with 1, prints, then you go inside the loop, it will print high, then it will print u, whatever value of u is there, 1. Then it will increase the value by 2 in now. U will become 3 now. 3 is still less than 10. Then it will print high again, u. So it will print 3 and it will print hit. First hit, then 3. Then it will increase the value of 3 by adding 2 to it and now it will become 5. U will become 5. It's less than 10. Yes. High u. It will print u. So it will be 5. Then it will again increase by 2. It will become 7. Again it's less than equal to 10. So it will print high u. This time it will become 7. Then again it will increase by 2 and it will become 9. Compares with 10. High u. Now this time it increases by 2 and becomes 11. But since 11 is not less than or equal to 10, or since 10 was supposed to be the final value, since it has already breached 10, it need not care whether 10 has been reached. Once it's greater than even the final destination, once it's like flooded the final destination, it's over the final destination, still also, then also it will stop. It need not exactly be 10 to stop. See, there you go, it stopped, right? So this is for loop for you. Now let's see what are while loops. While do. So what while loops do is whenever a particular condition is true, it will keep on executing the code. For example, if I want to say 1 plus 1 is greater than 0, so essentially what will happen is it will calculate this first by the rules of BODMAS. 2 is 2 greater than 0? Yes, always it's greater than 0. So it will keep on printing high. And since it's a while loop, what you want to do is if it is always true, if the condition is always true, you want to put a small task dot wait over here, otherwise the computer or the game may crash because it happens very fast. It can happen. The computer executes code at a very high speed, so this can be printed 50 times per second, which can literally crash your computer. So I would recommend you put a task.wait and ask the computer to wait for like 1 millisecond. So it will do it 10 times, so 50 times per second. So stop it and run it. Yep, there you go. It keeps on printing high. And how do you know it's keep on printing high? How do you know it's printing high regularly? Because the numbers are changing over here and it's scrolling down. It will go on forever till infinity or till the computer runs out of battery. So if you want to stop that, click on this red icon over here and stop and simulation. Yep. This is a while loop for you. It's used to do stuff till a condition is true. Now practical application of this is, let's say you want to increase, let's say local score is equal to 0. What you want to do is, Roblox understood what I'm trying to do. So till the score is less than max score, what I want you to do is, I want you to print a score value, and then I want you to increase the value of score by 1. So how would you do that? Is score is equal to score plus 1. So how this works is, since the value of score is inside this, it will add 1 to it by the rule of BODMAS, and then it will assign this value to score, essentially increasing the value of score. So again it will check the condition. This time it will become 1 is less than max score. 100, yes, true. Again it will start printing. Then 2 less than 100, 3 less than 100, 4 less than 100. All the way it will go till 99, because let's say it's 99 less than 100, prints 99 plus 1, 100, assign it to score. Now it will come over here again. Since it's a loop comes back, it loops over. Now is 100 less than 100? 100 is equal to 100, but 100 is not less than 100. So it will print all the way to 99 and it will stop then. And whenever you're something like this, whenever you have a loop, you should put task.wait so that it doesn't crash. That's always point 1. Yep. Okay. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. It'll stop at 99. Yep, there you go. Stopped at 99. Told ya. So I'm gonna stop this. Yep. So these are for loops and while loops for you. Next, we are gonna do functions. So what are functions? Functions are basically like a block of functions. Function is basically a block of code which you write it in a special way such that you can use it again and again without having to repeat it again and again. You'll understand it later. For now, what's important is you need not remember this, you just understand, go with the flow. So to create a function, use the word function. Then you give your function some name, just like in a variable you used to use local. Yeah, by the way, whenever you're creating a function, just like in a variable, you also have to give you also have to use local with it. Local, then function. Now you'll give it a name. To differentiate from a variable, you'll use function word. Otherwise it will get confused and it will think that it's a variable. So now I'm gonna give my function a name of addition, add, local function add, and I'm gonna give it some round brackets. Yes, enter. Okay, this is your function. So what functions do essentially is they take certain input, they process the input, and they generate certain output. and they do it over and over again. Whenever you call a function, or whenever you call in, you'll understand, whenever you call a function or whenever you use a function in your code, they take inputs, give you an output, take input and give you an output, without you having to write a code again and again. So for example, I'm going to take two inputs. Whatever input you're taking, you are supposed to put it in here, a comma b. So these are the inputs which your function will be expecting when you call them. You'll understand it later. I'll elaborate over it later. Now I'm going to print a plus b. So what would happen is, now let me call the function add 2 comma 3. Sorry, I need to use the correct name. Yep. What would happen is, this is called calling a function. What this does is, essentially, for example, let me add a bunch of code over here. So print add function was called. Yep. So what it does is, using a single line, I have replaced these two lines of code. So now for now it will be like a waste of time, but whenever you want to replace 100 lines or even 200 lines which are repeating over and over again, you can do it with a single line of code. That's the use case of this. So now what happens is, it is taking 2 and 3 for the input. Whatever input you want to give to a function, you're supposed to put in a variable variable name over here. So variable a and b, these are called parameters of a function. So what are these? Essentially, these are basically variables which a function has. Whatever value you give it, it will be assigned to a corresponding variable. And this is the structure of the function. Over here you have defined how the function is, and when you call it, how many number of inputs are there over here, the same number of inputs you are supposed to give to your function. And whatever input you give over here, for example 2 is given first, it will be assigned to a, then 3 is given later, then it will be assigned to b, which are both variables. And once you have the variable, you can use it as a variable and you can use your code normally. So essentially what you have done is, you have replaced like, let's say, one line of 3 lines of code with one line over here. Now I can do it multiple times. I can just Control V. I can change the values each time, and the sum will also change. And I can print A and B individually, just so you know that the first number corresponds to the first number over here and the second number corresponds to the second number in this function. For now, if you don't understand, it's fine. Just try your best to understand stuff. As we go ahead in the series, you'll understand the use case even more better. Okay, now if you execute this, yeah, you had this while loop. Let this while loop get over first, and then that code will be executed. So essentially what we have learned is, while the code has come all the way till here, then what happens is, it waits for this code to execute, it waits for the loop to execute, and once this loop is executed, then our function code is executed. Now you will see this function was created. Nothing happens while you create a function, because a function is just defined. It will not print all these things. This is supposed to happen when you call a function. Now I've called a function for the first time. As you see, I have called a function for the first time, 2 comma 3. What happens is, first thing what happens is, if you scroll up, after 99, first thing, a plus 2 comma 3, a and b were added and you got 5. Then a was printed, which is the first thing, which is the first argument, which is the first parameter. So since the first parameter is 2 was printed. Since the second parameter is b, 3 was printed. And then add function was called, was printed. Similarly for 2 and 33, the sum is 35. So this first line is executed whenever you call it with 2 and 33. First line executed 35, second line then must be 2, then third line is 33, then add function was called, so on and so forth. So essentially these 4 lines of code saved us like 16 lines of code. This is equivalent to this much code. Whatever you're done right now, if you want to like see how difficult it is, it would have been this long now you have done it in 4 lines. You did it in 4 lines using functions, which would have been normally this long. So functions are basically stuff which take input and provide output, and they're majorly used to make your life easier and shorten your code. Shortens your code by a long amount and makes coding and programming or scripting rather much faster in Roblox. And it also makes your code more organized. You'll understand it later. Or let me show you an example then for functions. Okay, an example of functions I'm gonna show you over here. So this is a function that I have created in my game. Local function spawn blocks. And this is a for loop, bunch of for loops which I have used. For now you'll not understand this stuff, it's fine, but you can relate to it. So this massive code is like enclosed within a function. How big is this code? This code is like of 1 all the way to like maybe like 15 lines or so. Is enclosed within this singular function of spawn block over here. And whenever I want to call this function over and over again, where have I called it? Yeah, there you go. I can call the function over and over here multiple times. Now over here I have replaced like 48 lines of code using just 3 lines of code. That's the use case of functions. And display and intermission is also functions defined by me only. For example, this is the intermission function and this is a play function. If you notice, functions also make your code much neater because these functions can be closed up like this. You can close the functions like this using this arrow over here. This arrow you see over here, you can close your function like this. Makes your code much neater. So you have this play function, whatever code is inside it runs over here, and this intermission function, whatever code is inside this massive code, runs over here. So yeah, that's it for today. This is a 7-day series, so I would be okay, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, it's like 12:15 AM right now over here, so I'm quite sleepy right now. So okay, don't mind this, by the way, I had 0 time to make this. So for your homework, you're supposed to think about the game idea you want to focus on. It need not be grand, it can be simple, but it should be originally yours. Think about it deeply, be passionate about it. So while thinking about game ideas, do not think about slots and stuff. Do not think about what makes money. Think about stuff which will make you genuinely happy, because you need to enjoy the journey, otherwise you will not feel like making the game. And it will require significant amount of efforts on both your side and my side to continue making games, because it's a very difficult endeavor, let me tell you that, and it requires a significant amount of time and efforts to create a game. For example, my game, which is quite simple, called Lucky Blocks, took me a week to code. So don't be disheartened. However, try to dream big, and I'll see you in the next video, I guess. Take care. Bye.
Baby, if you give it to me, I'll give it to you. I know what you want, you know I got it, baby, if you give